The Sicilian defense. I like to play against the Sicilian. Is knight c3. e5 is not the most principled move. Well, technically it doesn't allow me to play d4, but I don't think I was interested. Like, I can play d3 and f4. And yes, you have to make slight adjustments in accordance with your opponent's play. Let's play f4. I'll pre-move the capture. Check is not scary, because I can always block with g3. Okay, he desperately tries to hold on to the pawn, which I'm currently in no interest of taking. And I would rather finish my development and castle. Maybe castle long though. The downside of how he played it is his d5 and d6 squares became weak, which means my pieces can go there. For now, how about we finish the development? Also put some pressure on the e5 pawn. Okay, he still is trying to defend the pawn. This move allows knight b5. Okay, let's take once, because he was threatening to take. And then put my bishop in e3, queen in d2, and castle. This move allows me to play d4. Although I have to be careful. If he takes, I'm actually open to various checks on the diagonal. So let's not make premature pawn breaks. He develops the knight. And he castles short. If he ever pushes this pawn, by the way, I can take the knight, and when bishop takes, this pawn becomes weak. But not right now. If I put my knight on z5, he can just return with his knight. And I cannot stay there, unfortunately. So let's just castle for now. I have to be careful not to get my queen trapped, because my position is pretty cramped right now. The first trade happens. Maybe I even want to take like this. That seems interesting. Let's take like this. Okay. I'm thinking of just pushing f4 and then recapturing the bishop. That seems fine. He's not taking my bishop, which means I can probably move it. I can also take my time and play rook g1. So line up my rook with his king and then play something like bishop h5. I can also play it right now. Yeah, if he doesn't want to take my bishop, why do I not just move it away and then put my knight on e2 and trade off his knight? That seems like a nice plan. And he is looking to push pawns on the side that my king is on, which means I have to be really careful here. But I don't see anything wrong with just trading. It looks like my opponent left, but now the green dot turned on again. From now on, my plan is to bring my queen on g3 or g2, bring my rook, and play for some checkmate. Alright. This allows me to play queen g4, so I can play e5. But e5 I don't like because he takes and opens up the line for his rook. So queen g4 seems like a reasonable move. By the way, if I play rook g1, how are you defending this? You can push the pawn, or push it 2 squares, but then I take it. You can play with your e-pawn, but then I just move my queen, and I still have threat of discovered check. And it seems like... Don't see a good defense against the checkmate. Yes, that's what I was talking about. I mean, I'm giving him this pawn. It's not like I care much. Okay, he's trying to trick me. But that's not gonna work. It might seem like he survived the worst. But I have only started. This is a free pawn, by the way. But I don't think I'm interested in taking free pawns. I'm going for his king. Like now he can push the pawn, but that's a free pawn. Yeah. And it also comes with a tempo. Then I might want to take, actually, and play d6 to open up the attack on the rook and attack the queen and the bishop at the same time. His king side is completely destroyed, and he sacrifices the rook, which I'm happily gonna accept, because the rook is one of the only defenders of his king, and I'm happy to trade it off. He gives me a check. I will move my king away, and my plan from now is to push the pawn. If he doesn't take the bishop, play bishop f2, although I have to prepare it with rook f1, and then promote a new queen. And if he does take the bishop, then I can still play rook f1 and try to promote the queen. Let's play rook f1. Now all of my pieces are playing. This pawn is not capturable because queen takes d5 comes with a fork. Does queen f2 win? Queen takes h5, queen f7 check. It looks like it wins. Let's sacrifice the bishop, because I want to checkmate his king. He's trying to hold on to his king, but that's not gonna work. This is a free bishop, because it's a check. And now I can just move my queen away from the attack of his rook. Like queen g3, we trade some rooks and I infiltrate on e5. Can I sacrifice the queen somehow? Probably I can't. At least I don't see it. That would be beautiful. Check, rook takes. Check, the king moves. I think I actually can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Might as well. I can also take the rook. And when bishop takes, that's probably a good simplification. So queen takes f8, bishop takes f8, rook f7 check, king moves over. I win the queen, and I win everything. Let's do it. And my opponent resigns. Okay, I'm back. So as I said in the game, e5 was not the most fortunate decision for my opponent, because it weakens d6, d5, where my pieces can go in the future. d3 Stockfish doesn't like. It thinks that I should bring my bishop out, and it actually makes sense, because usually bishop c4 is not a good move in the Sicilian, because targeting f7 is irrelevant due to e6. But e6 is not possible now, so bishop c4 becomes reasonable. I blocked the bishop in, and f4 was correct, and my opening was actually pretty reasonable. Maybe I could have also played d4 here. Bishop h5 is correct. Knight e2, it thinks probably that the knight is not that dangerous. I could have just brought my rook and immediately attacked, but this helps me bring my queen. And black is already lost here. Yeah, because rook g1 and there's no good defense against checkmate. Rook f7 is not possible. Pushing the pawn leads to sacrifice of the bishop. Plays g5. And then f5 is a mistake. Of course, I could have taken on d5, threatening a bunch of stuff. but there might have been bishop b7. Of course, I could have taken on d5 and threatened d6, which is a fork, and also it attacks the rook. But after e takes d5, there might have been bishop b7. So g6 is fine. Queen f8 is a mistake, because I could have played queen f7 check, and that's a checkmate in 8. I mean, that's unfindable. Queen f8 is just a simplification. Of course, I could have just moved my queen to g3, try to give some checks, infiltrate. Technically here I give up some material, but I'm still winning. Oh no, it's a strong player. Not that strong actually. Let's see how he handles my opening. Okay, 4. I mean, it's a move. If he plays d4, we transpose into the normal, like the normal park. He plays this move, which helps me develop my bishop, and I'm gonna give it up. I'm just gonna give it up. Yes, that was the plan. And now, putting my knight here is usually not a good option. Here some people make a mistake of pushing the pawn, allowing me to play knight d5, but this person doesn't. Which means I'm gonna play d5 myself. And put my knight here. Okay, it's time to think. I can play c5. That's the typical idea in these openings, but I have to be careful with pushing the d-pawn because my b-pawn actually becomes weak. So before pushing, let's play knight c6 and ensures that everything is stable here. The knight can actually still not move to many places because I would take the bishop and take away his castling rights. Okay, I actually got a pretty normal position. Now I might want to play queen a5. Also, I'm threatening knight d4, forcing his queen to move back. Maybe that's not enough. Like if he blocks the queen's path somehow, then I am able to play knight d4. Now it looks like I can actually play queen a5, threatening to take the knight, and then take the pawn. And also I'm threatening, not really, kind of threatening d4. But the bishop is protected twice. So that's not a concern. Probably a3, or that. But it actually... Wait a second. Well, there's knight e4, which I missed. There is knight e4. Knight d4 then? Well, it doesn't make any sense, the queen just moves. But even there I can actually like take the bishop and then play knight b4, but then a3. Maybe take the knight, bishop takes e3 and knight b4 there. No, but then a3 just wins my knight. So let's play d4. He will play knight e4, and I will try to generate some attack with my knight. Yeah, he finds this move. And he takes with the rook. Now I wanted to bring my knight. I could also try to play f5. Then if he takes on peasant, first of all he takes like this, I take, and the knight has to move and abandon the defense of the rook. If he takes on peasant, it comes with a check, unfortunately. And also now knight d6 is a thing. Let's just castle. That's a very risky decision. He moves the rook for reasons I can't quite explain. Okay, what if I play knight b4 now? He probably plays a3. And I'll put my knight on a stronger square. Yes. And then knight e3. Okay, he's also trying to do some stuff. Trying to attack me. Maybe I can just push. Yeah, let's push. Pushing makes a lot of sense. Trying to play b4, breaking into his queen side. At some point he will start rolling his pawns as well. But on my king side. Okay, probably the idea is to play queen e1, but does it not run into... Oh no. Maybe yes, because then the queen is under attack. I can prepare it. There's also nothing scary in queen e1. I can just play like a queen h4. Let's do that. Queen e1, I'm just gonna play queen a4. Then I'm threatening to take, and then knight c3, which will be a fork. Against this, I can also play queen a4. And if b3, I can just play queen a6. And I'm still fine. I think I'm cooking here. Kind of. He plays that move. I do have a check, but let's just move the queen. I think b3 just delays the inevitable. Now fork is threatened. Alright, fork. If king c1, I win. If king up, might still be able to take. Then he takes my rook, and then I fork him. So that's winning. And knight g3. Alright. That's what I said. Wait a second, maybe I blundered. Bishop b7. Oh my god. I thought I was winning for a second. What a stupid way to get my queen trapped. That's insane. Can I not avoid it? Every square is attacked, it looks like. Oh my god, I really got my queen trapped. I thought I was winning. Yeah, I just don't see a good way. Like if I take, he still takes my queen and I have nothing. Cannot even attack the queen, okay. Let's just grab the knight and try to win this position. Probably gonna lose. Okay, let's actually see if I can rescue my knight. And at least have a rook and a knight for a queen. No, he just takes. Which probably means I'm losing here. He's not even letting my knight join the game. Like queen e4 now. And I have nothing. Okay, maybe I'll try to bring my knight like this. And that also works, I guess. He's trying to get me to take and then trick me like this. Very, very mischievous. Like my last hope is that he blunders some sort of fork or like a skewer and I win his queen, but that's unlikely to happen on this level. Yeah, and he just completely takes all of my pawns. I cannot even take with a rook, so let me take with a knight. Almost a fork. Almost a fork, but not quite. Yeah, I mean, you have to be very talented to blunder a fork here. Yeah, now just... I mean, two things attacking of 7. Maybe give a check? No. Not to be. You can even sack the queen, I think. Yeah, that's disgusting. Disgusting. That's like a Zugzwang. Yeah, I mean, it's hopeless. Okay, let's see what I did wrong. Probably the only thing I did terribly wrong. Well, what he did wrong is he didn't play d4. d3 is too passive, right? Then he kind of did everything correctly. Probably got into some trouble here, like maybe bringing your queen back and moving your knight away to trade these bishops. Would have been correct. But it seems like I played fine until a certain point. Like maybe here. Why did I play queen a4? Maybe I could have just played queen a6 here. I would have had the a4 square saved. Yeah, a4, and here I should have probably taken the bishop. That's barely winning. What does Stockfish think? Yeah, Stockfish think it's equal. If I play knight f4, well, knight f4 makes sense, like a desperado. I'm gonna lose this knight anyway, might as well grab some material with it. But knight g3 just completely blunders, because queen g2, and now I'm not able to take the bishop or the rook, because when I take the rook, I get my queen trapped.